the business end of the two scopes. These are both 50mm lenses. However, as I've tried to explain before, in the digital world 50mm doesn't mean the same as it does in the glass scope world. It's not the diameter of the lens, it's the focal length. So although these are both 50mm lenses, and that's all you'll ever hear from anybody, as you can see, the original 4K has a much larger diameter lens than the new Pro. Okay. However, the focal length of both lenses is the same. It means that the f-stop is different. Okay. So what we need to see is, does the much higher pixel sensor and the new software algorithm make up for this smaller lens against the light gathering of its older brother? You can see on the front again the laser ranging finding modules are slightly different. The Alpex has this big bulky square bolt which is bolted on to the main chassis, whereas the Pro's got a much sleeker bullet shape and it appears to be moulded in with the main scope body. Okay, so it's not a separate piece that bolts on by the look of it. There's also one flat lens as opposed to a laser and a receiver behind two different lenses. So again, that should be nice and easy to wipe off. Again, on the front, they've gone with a similar lens cap as to on the light, which is a smaller, lighter, and a magnetic close, which is nice and quiet. The original 4K had this little clip mechanism, which is a much more complicated thing to make with lots of pieces, and I suspect is much more expensive. They both do a reasonable job. The big disadvantage is if you want to put a hole in this to make a smaller diameter front end like an iris, you can't really drill this one because you need to drill through the mechanism. However, obviously the 4K comes with its own built-in iris inside, which is one of its big features. It's useful. It takes it down to 20-25mm size from the 41. There is no iris built into this. It has the smaller lens anyway, so that will help with that automatically, although it does, as I say, from a lens point of view, reduce the light gathering. However, you could drill a hole in this one of these lens caps and it would still operate and close perfectly fine. They both just clip on, and I assume with the 4K levers off, I haven't tried this one, I assume it just will pop off if you want to. And I'm sure somebody might make a iris adaptable version if they wanted to on the 3D printer. So that's the basic front end. As I say, on the front end of this one you have the focus ring, which is stiffish. I've never found the need to have a coaster on it. Some people do. It works fine. It's a bit weird operating it again after using side focus so long, which I have. So it's nice that the 4K, the Pro has removed that, and we now have a side focus. Okay, it brings you familiarity back. The other one's usable, but again, it's quite a long reach forward to get hold of it. So we'll see in practical use that this one hopefully should be a lot better. Also, as I said, they've removed the iris system, and that's where a massive amount of the weight from the 4K was in this front end. If you look at my light video, you'll see it's about 2.5 177 pellet tins weight extra, and it's all in this very solid bell housing here, whereas the Pro and the Lite don't have it, so it's a much sleeker, much lighter front end. This reduces the weight considerably and moves the centre of gravity back on the rifle, so you haven't got such a front heavy rifle. I find it okay. It is nice with the light on it, and I assume that the Pro, it will definitely be a difference, especially on an air rifle or a smaller rifle. So on the top we have the top turret. This one's got an audible click and whizzes quite easily. This one's a bit quieter, and if you go slowly it's pretty much silent. The light was a lot stiffer than this one, not quite so distinguishable clicks, much more heavily damped, so this is kind of between the two. Again, something to get used to. Bigger knobs and dials on this one, these big rubber outsides on them for getting hold of on all three of them, compared to the more metallic machined ones on the 4K. Again, top button for the menu, and this one no longer does the zoom, this just accesses the menu once you press the button. Moving back along, the other feature again to bring it in line with normal scopes, this is your zoom. It has this huge throw lever which I'm going to take off because it looks really annoying to me and sticking out, so it's going to get caught on things or snapped off. It's about a 90-degree throw from full to minimum to maximum magnification. I think taking that off would be a good idea. It's quite easy for me to turn like that anyway, and if I wanted something I'd probably put a smaller screw, a shorter job in there with a small lump on it just to make it easier from there. Obviously not on the 4K. Same 3 buttons on the back here, power buttons, very quick start up on both of these. Left hand button is your camera and video, so short press for picture, long press to start the video, same on both. Right hand side is the laser rangefinder, short press to laser rangefind, long press to activate the pip for picture in picture. These buttons are slightly bigger, there's a nice big easily feelable part in the middle so you can work out which button you're on in the dark. Coming back, similar again, another feature, well, another way they've changed it similar to the light. The rubber eyepiece on this one is screwed on, and that involves a machined metal part which the rubber is fitted to. Again, another complication and an added cost that isn't really necessary. This one, like the light, is just a rubber one, and it just clips on over the top, and you can pop it on and off quite easily. Again, it saves complexity, saves a part, technically saves money, and doesn't actually affect anything to do with how it works or the quality. So again, they both have an 18650 secondary battery you can fit in across. I've had to leave the cap off of this one because otherwise it won't fit with my system. The light was fine, there was plenty of room. Obviously it's a slightly bigger scope, and as I say, these knobs are all big and rubberized, unlike these ones which are metal. This one is a bayonet fitting, whereas this one screws on and off to get the battery in. Actually, the battery on this one is actually on this side. So this one's got a screw thread to put it on. This is a quick quarter turn. So that's the outside. As I say, this one's 1200 grams. This one's about 800. The light was 4 something. So this one's in the between of the weight. So yes, this one's quite stiffish, but that's good. You don't want to knock it. It's still smooth. I assume it's just moving the sensor backwards and forwards in here, as opposed to this one which moves the lens backwards and forwards for focus. So there we go. A little bit back here, a little bit forward here, so similar length, smaller, as I say, on the front end with a much smaller lens and without that iris system in this solid piece here. There's the iris control. So it's getting dark outside, so I'll try and do some side-by-side videos, see what happens.